Going on, team? It's Ricky with Techman Solutions. One of the things that I wanted to talk about today is, we've been talking about the market pulling back. I was shorting the market. I made a couple $1,000s off of SQQQ. Just so you could see, I completely closed my position on SQQQ, and today I traded TQQQ, which is the bull triple leverage ETF. First off, if you're an absolute beginner and or if you suck at managing risk, TQQQ is probably not the best alternative or option for you. In this video, I'm going to be talking about the top 5 stocks that I'm paying attention to as the market pulled back. One of my favorite things to do is to load up on what I view to be cheap stocks that I feel very confident that are going to recover. I talked about this very briefly on Friday. I talked about buying about $10,000 worth of Facebook, right around $305 a share. Right now, Facebook is trading at $318, so I'm up a little bit on Facebook. But thinking about it, I don't think Facebook is going anywhere anytime soon, meaning that I don't expect this stock to drop, right? Obviously, it pulls back when the overall market pulls back, but every time Facebook pulls back, I view it as a dip buy opportunity. Not a dip buy opportunity on a cheap, very risky stock, but on a stock that is so consistently bullish. You could look at Facebook for the past year, right? And really understand that it's been so consistent in the way that it trades. And when looking at it for the past year, I wouldn't mind buying it at the low 300s and then based off of previous resistance levels right around 350, and or if I intend to hold for it to almost make a full recovery to 384, you could see that there is a lot of potential for this thing to make, or make an actual recovery. It offers about 20% ROI. I plan to add more to my Facebook position as it begins to indicate signs of reversal, but that's just one of few stocks. Like I talked about it already, the next one's going to be TQQQ. Now, I don't expect everyone to agree with this one. First off, we do not know if the market's fully going to recover as of right now. The market is indicating signs of a potential support level, but it's still trading below the EMA line, so make sure that you know that, especially before you decide to buy the dip in on these pretty heavy. But the reason that I find TQQQ to be so attractive is it follows the overall NASDAQ market. So when the NASDAQ market recovers, this thing recovers 3 times the amount that the NASDAQ index recovers. So this thing offers about, about a 25% ROI based off of current price level. So I view that to be very attractive. Again, it is triple leveraged. It is an ETF. It does decay over time. So just know that it comes at a greater form of risk. It's not for everyone. But with that being said, I personally find it attractive, which is why I'm talking about it. And I wouldn't mind holding a couple shares as this thing begins to recover, which I think is a great perspective to have when the market pulls back. Everyone freaks out, but if you actually think about it, the market is bullish big picture, right? And if anything, there's a lot of deals that end up presenting themselves, and that's what I'm here to talk about. The next one is going to be Spotify. So Spotify, again, a very popular streaming platform. Went from highs of 305. Right now it's beginning to try to establish its support at the low 200s. It's still not indicating signs of a reversal, so I don't need to jump into this right now. But just like last time when it found its support right around 220, it began to make higher highs and higher lows above the EMA and then above the moving average. So from where we're at right now, it offers 31% ROI. And the great thing about that is that 31% is the margin I have to work with. And I'm not a perfect trader, so even if I capture 15% of that, even half of that, right? I don't need to trade perfectly. You don't need to buy at the lowest price point. The whole focus that I have is buying when it makes sense and when the direction's in my favor, which is why I thought I would talk about Spotify and, of course, waiting for confirmation. Now, another very popular one, this is Shopify. And Shopify, you can look at it on the year chart, very consistent, very bullish. It's testing the moving average. So this is why I find it to be so attractive. Again, we're agreed to disagree. Just because I see value in something does not mean that you have to. I just want to talk about it because this is a stock that I'm going to be invested in, and I at least want to explain why. Not just talk about the stock, but of course explain the thought process behind the trade. So from where we're at right now, based off of previous highs, that's about a 23% ROI. Personally, I find that to be very attractive, and we're consolidating here right around previous support levels. So So it looks like it's trying to establish its support level, and I'm just going to do something very, very simple, and it's set an alert. If we get confirmation of a reversal and if Shopify actually begins to indicate signs of an uptrend, then great. That's when I can choose to follow up with it and average up into it when it makes the most sense. Now, one of the last ones that I wanted to talk about is I wanted to throw in kind of like a little bit of a riskier one. This is an airline. This is not one that I would expect everyone to agree with me on, but because of everything with this new COVID variant coming out, right, it caused airlines to drop very aggressively. I went ahead and I even have a whole watch list of just airlines, so you don't have to agree with me on the specific airline that I choose, but just like I chose 4 other tech focused either stocks or ETFs, I wanted to focus on something that also was affected by this COVID news that pulled back. It became oversold, but was previously trading at a pretty decent price level. And from where we're at right now, I expect American Airlines to pull back to about the EMA, which is where I would feel comfortable taking, a 5 to 10% position size. And if it were to make a recovery again, I don't need it to recover right away, but that's about 27% ROI, nearly 30%. So again, even if I capture 50% of the 30%, right? Even half of that, right? 10 to 15% margin on an opportunity that for some people might have been very scary as it pulled on back. For someone like myself that is not already invested in American Airlines, I view it to be as a good dip buy opportunity, and I can tolerate the time that it would take for this thing to make a full-on recovery. I like to keep things super short and sweet, and I think that's exactly what we did today with how we were able to wait for the markets to pull on back, allow that opportunity to present itself, and then understand that markets do recover. So it's in my best interest to load up on the quality blue chip stocks that I see value in, or the quality tech stocks that I see value in, buy them now, average up into them, and make money as they recover, which is the whole purpose of this video. You don't have to agree with any of the stocks that I actually talk about, but it's more talking about the principle of, as the markets pull back a little bit, this is the time where you can actually make money if you prepared to buy the dip, and then you make money as they recover. This is something that we always talk about with the Learn Plan Profit Group. This is something that we spoke about today during our live trading session. This $750 profit, most of it was actually made within our 45-minute live trading session. So if you guys ever want to watch me trade live, if you've never watched me trade live before, feel free to message me on Instagram. The link is in the description of this video. But if you're ready to watch me trade live as soon as tomorrow and you're ready to join my team, that's going to be the second link in the description. It's the Learn Plan Profit Group. It's literally the only group that I work with on a closer basis. So make sure that if you like the way that I break things down, if you like the way that I keep things so simple, and you want to be able to watch me trade live every single day, click that second link, and I will see you tomorrow at Market Open. Until then, like always, let's make sure that we end the year on a green note. Take it easy, team.